And so I'm going to do a piece of my art on the board, and you know, if you've seen me do this before for the purpose of our camera and such, I'm going to ask you to just play along with us as we figure out what this piece of art is. And it's a fairly simple one. Could anybody tell me what it is that you see there on our board? Kilroy. Kilroy. No, it's not Kilroy.
A frog.
A frog. No, it's not a frog. What do you see?
Igloo.
A two-door igloo. No, not a two-door igloo. Come on, what is it?
Tunnel.
A tunnel, a car,
Volkswagen.
a Volkswagen. Well, actually, it's a scrub woman from the back. Well, truly, it's just lines on a board. When you look at those lines on the board through your mind, you're looking at a framework. That framework causes content in your mind to fire. Now, the only way that content can fire is if it's in your mind, obviously. Let's imagine that we took a man from the jungles of South America. This fellow has never seen anything more complex than a dugout canoe. And we show him this diagram on the board. How long do you think it would take, and how much experience and how much explanation would you have to come up with to really truly get him to understand what you mean when you say this is a two-door igloo? What kind of content is going to have to be placed in his mind? I mean, to this fellow who's come from the Guatemalan jungles, it's subtropical. He's never been in a temperature where it's below 70 degrees. How much explaining are you going to have to do to him? What kind of content are you going to have to get into his mind for him to understand freezing cold? So cold that water that comes from the sky turns into white fluffy stuff. So cold that waves coming out of a body of water actually freeze in midair. What are you going to have to do to explain to him that you have a device with which you cut blocks of this hard water and you stack them and you form a home made out of frozen water? And you crawl inside of one of these two doors in order to stay warm. What are you going to have to give him in the way of content for him to have a clue what you're talking about? Do you get some sense of just something as simple as a two-door igloo, the complexity of content, the number of different files in the mind that have to fire to produce that reality of a two-door igloo?